What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Y'all have been absolutely blowing up the channel lately, and I can't thank y'all enough for that. And we got another banger here with a God Roll Deliverance video for you guys, going over both the PvP and PvE God Rolls for this bad boy that we got from the Vow of the Disciple raid when it came out. We can craft this as well with some nice enhanced perks, so that's what we're going to go over here. Now, I will say it was a little bit of a grind to get all 5 red borders to actually be able to craft the Deliverance, but for a Stasis Kinetic fusion rifle with some pretty good rolls that we can have on this, it is a very viable fusion rifle for both PvP and PvE in my personal opinion. Now we're switching it up a little bit here with the way I'm going to go over these God Rolls. Usually I just go to light.gg and show you guys some gameplay in the background, but with this one being craftable, I kind of want to show what I'm going for in the actual crafter here inside of Mars on the Enclave. So first off, for our PvP roll, in my personal opinion, you definitely need to go with the range masterwork here that unlocks at level 7. We can build this thing out to have almost, I think, 95 range if my math is right. So this thing absolutely maps people inside of the Crucible. For our barrel for PvP, I'm going to go with full bore here, so we improve our handling so we can pull the weapon out faster, as well as we get that 5 range increase so we can continue to build on that range for this weapon and map people inside of those PvP realms. For our second column right here with our batteries, we're going to go with Projection Fuse. This once again gives us a nice 10 increase to range, so we're building that out to just be able to shoot people basically as far as a sniper, it feels like, with this weapon here. Moving on to our third and fourth columns. In our third one right here, I am personally going to go with Steady Hand. So kills provide improved handling for all weapons for a longer duration. So when we get defeats with this weapon, we're going to have improved handling, which helps us pull out our weapons and ready it faster. So we can switch to whatever we're using, pulse or a hand cannon with this. Absolutely makes it a lot easier to get that tick. If you don't get the full kill with this, you can switch quickly once this is procced and then, continue your damage with that pulse or a hand cannon. I think that this is the best perk in this third column for our PvP round. Finally, in our fourth column here, we are going to go with Successful Warm-Up. So each final blow increases the draw charge time and improved duration. So when we get those defeats with this weapon, and we'll be mapping people with that in about 95 range, we're going to be able to have that charge time increase. So we're going to be able to shoot faster with this weapon after we get a defeat in the Crucible. That's super nice when you have those scavengers on and you have about 5 or 6 shots. You can go through and clear a bunch of fellow guardians with this, especially with that improved charge time. It just maps people at a faster rate. So that's definitely what I'm looking for, is a range masterwork, the full bore in the barrel, Projection Fuse for our battery, then Steady Hand and Successful Warm-Up for our PvP God Roll. Moving on to the PvE realm right here, we are going to go with Reload for the masterwork here when you craft it out at level 7, just so we can get those bolts back faster in the magazine and continue our damage or ad clear, whatever it may be. For our barrel, I actually am going to once again go with full bore, just because I think that this has the best help for the weapon in this slot. Everything else kind of has just negatives for what I'm looking for. So definitely that range and handling. You don't really need super high stability with this because it feels pretty stable to me in my personal opinion. So having that range and handling help with this weapon for sure. For our battery here, just like most PvE fusion rifles, we're going to go with liquid coils, so we have that increased impact. Even though we have a little bit slower charge time, we are going to be doing more damage with this weapon, which is great for that PvE realm. For our third slot, I'm definitely going to go with Demolitionist for this column right here. So final blows with the weapon generate an improved amount of grenade energy, and then when you activate your grenade, it reloads the weapon from reserves. So it's a very good combination of being able to spam grenades, or at least get your grenade back a little bit faster, and you have that reload aspect of when you throw your grenade, your fusion rifle will reload automatically till its full magazine, which we have 7 right here, just intrinsically. So for this final column, I have 2 perks that I want to cover, so I'm going to actually craft both of these in the future. I couldn't decide which one I like more, so that's why I'm definitely going to be crafting both, especially since we have Demolitionist in our 3rd column. The first perk I'm talking about is Adrenaline Junkie right here. So this weapon gets increased damage, so we can do more damage on bosses, champions, whatever. And it has better handling from final blows with grenades or with this weapon. So we can stack this up to ×5 with grenade kills, or if we're getting defeats with this weapon, and it pairs perfectly with Demolitionist being able to throw grenades more often. Just Adrenaline Junkie is a great PvE perk in general. But I was very torn because of this perk right here in Chill Clip. When we have direct hits with the top half of the magazine, causing a detonation of slow, that stasis that improves your stability as well, so we can freeze enemies, which is super nice when we're doing DPS on a boss or a champion. It causes that nice freeze, which stuns them for a second, and then we can continue our damage. It's very nice to pair with a stasis build especially, so this one is a little bit more specific, but I do really like the Chill Clip perk in general, so I'm gonna actually craft both. But if I guess I had to pick one pairing it with Demolitionist, I would go Adrenaline Junkie, but don't sleep on Chill Clip. I think this is an absolute banging perk, especially if you're running a stasis build, but even not in general, this is very good for slowing those enemies and keeping that ad management at bay. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this kind of style of the God Roll instead of going over like I do usually on light.gg and everything like that, showing the differences in the perks. This right here, being able to craft the Deliverance, seemed like a more hands-on way of showing you guys what is going to go into my Deliverances, and then you guys can kind of build it off of that. But I definitely think that these are the God Rolls that I'm going for, and it's super nice that we can craft, reshape these as we please in the future, depending on buffs and nerfs to certain weapons and mods, metas, stuff like that. So definitely get into that vow of the Disciple if you can. Get these red borders. I know it's 5. I know it's a decent grind, but definitely worth it for a few weapons inside of that, especially with Arc 3.0 coming out, as well as just the Pulse and Waveframe buff with Forbearance and Insidious as well. So definitely get to trying out these raid weapons, and the able to craft them is another perk from Bungie. So thank you all for watching. I truly appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.